opportunity to take college classes. Most of you guys are probably juniors that are in here, which is great. You have the opportunity to take college classes for free, which when you hear the word free is always super nice because you don't have to pay for it. But we do have representatives. I'm Mrs. Escalera, by the way, one of the counselors here at Pioneer. Mr. Dornbeer is back there, he's another counselor. And we have two additional counselors, Mrs. Eastler and Mr. Ensley. They're probably roaming around in the building or meeting with parents. But we have our College Credit Plus options here at Pioneer that students can take advantage of taking college classes while they're still in school. You do not have to pay for that tuition. One option is that way, you don't have to pay for the tuition. And then you don't have to pay for the book either for the college courses. But we're going to kind of go over the pros and cons of our program that the state has here in the state of Ohio. And I have Tiffany Wade from Marion Technical College that's here tonight, and Carrie Bash from North Central State College. And they actually just work with College Credit Plus, so they're kind of like the knowledgeable gurus of everything. So they're going to kind of cover everything for you guys tonight. And if you have questions, you know, it's kind of informal, so just ask away. If you have a question, if you want to wait till the end of the presentation, you can do that too. Whatever you feel comfortable doing is fine. So I'll turn it over to Tiffany.
Hello there. Again, my name is Tiffany Wade. I am the director of the College Credit Plus program at Marion Technical College. And we're just I'm going to go over some of the basics of the College Credit Plus program, earning college credit prior to graduating from high school. So what is College Credit Plus? College Credit Plus is a program. It covers all of the courses. It can be online courses, it can be on-campus courses, and it can be courses, the dual credit courses taught at the high school, free of charge to the student, as we had mentioned. And that does cover the books, and it covers any required fees for the courses. Students can also participate in the self-pay option, and that has some different benefits if students are concerned about their GPA, class rank, things like that. I think it's skipping forward a little. Yep. Oh, we can go back actually a couple. Back one more. So the self-pay, okay. So for the self-pay, the college grades, they don't impact the school grade point average or your class rank. So if you are really concerned with your class rank, you can choose to self-pay, and you would still be earning that college credit, but you wouldn't have those same concerns with the class rank for school. Remedial or foundation courses. The College Credit Plus program does not cover remedial or foundation courses. So if you were interested in taking some of the courses to get you ready for the higher level college courses, you could take those. And then non-public and homeschool students may do self-pay if you do not receive funding. So who can participate in College Credit Plus? Students must be in grades 7 through 12. And here you do not file that letter of intent, so we can go ahead and skip that. But the students must meet the admission criteria and any deadlines set by the college. So for Marion Technical College, we have the standardized tests that students have to take, the IQ Placer or the ACT. Other colleges, they have their own requirements. So whichever college you choose, you would want to check with their admissions because you will have to be admitted to their school. What does College Credit Plus cover? The College Credit Plus students will have the college costs paid by the school district. So again, tuition, fees, and books. Things to remember, transportation. So if you're taking courses here, it's a little easier because you don't have to worry about transportation. But if you are taking courses at the college, the transportation is not covered. So it's something that you want to make sure that you've taken into account because those are things that as high schoolers, those can add up. And then optional fees and like the gym membership or things like that can be optional fees. What are the benefits of College Credit Plus? Again, It's free. And if you go to school board meetings, things like that, remember to thank them, thank your school district, because those are things that the school district is paying for. College Credit Plus really opens up opportunities for students to have experiences they wouldn't have in traditional high school. So you have alternate courses available, so every high schooler can kind of have a chance to take accelerated courses or courses that may not be offered in your high school. You would have earlier exposure to college faculty, college expectations, and that's, we had kind of talked about this a little, that's really a big transition point for high schoolers, because even though you may be taking these classes at high school, if they're the College Credit Plus courses, it's another level. You have to be sure that you are ready to spend extra time on the coursework outside of the classroom. For college credit work, they say plan on spending 2 hours for every hour you're in class. So those are things that you really want to sit down and talk with your child about, or you want to think about as a student. Do I have time for this with my schedule, with maybe my work schedule, my school schedule, my extracurriculars? The college credit can transfer, especially the public colleges in Ohio, there are transfer agreements. So the college credit that you're taking will be guaranteed to transfer to any of those public colleges. You want to make sure that you're checking with your college that you're planning on attending, if it's a private school or an out-of-state school. But again, many of those courses will transfer. And you do get credit on your high school transcript and college transcript, so that's obviously a benefit. Another thing that we can just go back one thing, the scholarships, the freshman scholarships, that's a big deal. You can be earning the college credit, so you can earn up to 30, 60, however many hours that you earn. And you could go into college with that many credit hours, but you're still going to be eligible for those first-time freshman scholarships. And that can add up to a lot more money saved, aside from the money that you save using the College Credit Plus. And then again, the benefits for like priority registration, things like that, if you have earned additional credit. The different pathways, there are pathways that are developed with some of the schools that you'll have that are the 15 credit or the 30 credit hour pathways to transition you into an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. So we've talked some about the benefits, the risks. We talked about the rigorous coursework. This really is something that you want to have a conversation with as parents, as students, to make sure that you are ready for the additional time, the additional expectations of college work, especially if you have a job, especially if you're in extracurricular activities. You want to sit back and be prepared for the time that will be spent in those college courses. The impact of your grades in these courses. These are college level courses. This will be counted in the GPA for your high school. So things will be a little harder, and this will be counted as part of your GPA. There is a financial risk. Yes, it's free, and we see the word free and then we're like, oh, we're ready to do that. But keep in mind, if you drop after the census date or you fail the class, you could have to pay that money back. So these are things to think about when you're signing up for these classes, how many classes you want to sign up for. Keep all of these things in mind. And we talked about the limited enrollment or involvement in extracurricular activities, jobs, things like that, because it really takes up a lot more time than your typical high school coursework. We talked about the transportation. It's not provided to campus. Not a big deal if you're taking classes here or if you're taking classes online, but if you are taking classes at campus, that is not covered. The transfer to private or out-of-state colleges, the credits may transfer, but it's a conversation you will want to have with the individual college. So you want to make sure that you're talking to the colleges that your student is interested in to make sure that you and the credits you're earning will be transferable to that college. And then another one, and this is tough for the high schoolers. Sometimes you get a snow day or you get a fog delay or things like that. If you're taking courses on campus, those days aren't the same. You're still expected to be in class on those days. The calendars for the school and the calendars for the college may not be the same. So if the college is having class, you're expected to be there for that class regardless of a snow day or a fog delay, things like that. Who should participate in College Credit Plus? So we have these tests that students have to take, and you have to get a minimum score. You have to be, ready in different ways. You'll notice these repeated themes. You want to make sure that your student is ready. You want to make sure as a student that you are ready. Even if you've passed these tests, even if you have your plan laid out, really step back and make sure you are ready to accept the time that's going to be invested in this. Make sure that you are ready to be sitting in a class with people that are much older than you if you're taking classes on campus. The course content, these are true college courses, so the content can be at a different level than what maybe would be taught to high schoolers. So different things to keep in mind. Students need to be strong self-advocates. So as smart as a student may be, they need to be comfortable with themselves so they can ask the questions in class, be able to step up and talk to the instructors, be able to really communicate with the college and with the professors about what they need, if they're falling behind, where they can get help, things like that. And this is more student-led. It's letting go and letting the students take the lead here because it is transitioning them from the high school where students are much more, it's much more family involved. You're talking with your parents and you're here with your parents tonight, but things at college, it's going to go through you and you alone. And if you talk to your parents about that, that's fine, but the information is going to go to you. So those are all things to keep in mind when you are thinking about your College Credit Plus plans. Going along with the testing, you want to make sure you're academically strong, and part of the testing aligns with those ideas. If you're earning A and B grades, yes, that's part of it. You want to have strong study habits and strong time management skills. These are the big changes from high school to college. The concepts and the study habits that may be easy for high schoolers, students a lot of times struggle with the amount of time they're going to spend on things in college. So those are things that you really want to make sure you have in place. And we talked about being active learners, being able to speak up, being comfortable with handling your responsibilities. Part of the College Credit Plus that's nice for all of the high schoolers, it kind of evens things out, is students are able to take classes outside of what their high school offers. So you can explore courses that lead to a degree, and you can take classes that are more specific toward what you're interested in. So you can use the College Credit Plus to supplement your high school's offerings. And you'll see, again, the repeated, you must have that time to devote to college classes. Even if say you have an online thing that you want to take, there's an online offering, and you think, okay, well, this will fit in my schedule because I have work, or because I have basketball, or because I have this activity. You still are going to devote the time to that class that you would a scheduled day time class. So keep those things in mind. So for Marion Technical College, we have an open admission. There will still be the requirements for the testing that you'll have to take. It's going to be the AccuPlacer, or some of the students are doing the ACT. We are moving to an online application. So beginning next spring, everything will be online. The student will fill out that information. As long as you filled out all of the required information, you'll submit that, and that will go to your counselor. And then once she receives the confirmation, then she will upload your transcript and the other needs. And that kind of went over those. The applications will be due in May of 2017. We're kind of ahead. You guys have done an earlier night for your College Credit Plus night. So the registration will begin in March for next summer and fall. And then for the following spring, like right now, we're getting ready to register students for spring of 17. But next year, it's going to follow that same time frame. So by next March, you'll be registering for summer term and fall term. Choosing your college classes. I have a list up here. There are the courses that are guaranteed to transfer to the Ohio Public Institutions. If you wanted to come up and take a look at that, I didn't bring enough for everyone. I don't know that everyone is necessarily interested in those. They're also available on our website. But if you want to get a general idea of what courses transfer, we have those. And then, I'm trying to look here. There are different college courses depending on what you're looking at. So if you're looking at a more like an arts and sciences degree or a technical degree, you want to make sure you're choosing the courses that are leading to the degree that you would like. And the College Credit Plus program, it's not a replacement for high school. The best place to prepare for college is high school. That's a quote that you'll hear. And it truly is. The experiences that you're getting, the knowledge that you're learning, those all are going to make you more prepared. So make sure that what you're doing now, that is ultimately leading you to be ready for college. You might have some courses that will be required as prerequisites for the college coursework. And same thing that goes for both of us. The assumption that some courses may be easier, colleges may be easier. It's college credit, all college coursework is at a different level than high school. So make sure that you are prepared for that next level of learning. I'm going to pass it over.
Hello, my name is Carrie Bash. I work with North Central State College in Mansfield and Shelby. So some of this we'll kind of skip through just briefly. North Central State College, there are courses taught here within the building for you. As most of you are probably also aware, you can be earning credits through your labs, which are called articulation credits. So it's an agreement with North Central State. All of those can help you in your future college plans. We also have the Kehoe Center in Shelby, of course, the main campus, and then downtown Mansfield is the Urban Center. So I know I've worked with a few Pioneer students in the Performing Arts program who then take classes at the Urban Center downtown. So any of those are available. We do also have classes online. One thing to know, and there are packets up here that have the PowerPoint slides, so there's going to be a lot of information, but it will be there to take home with you. The year coming up, We are going to have deadlines by term for application and registration. So that would just be the one takeaway I want you to have from this information. We had kind of some rolling deadlines, some preferred deadlines, and this year, just with the growth and volume, we are going to really have to stick to those deadlines for preserving the student's experience and kind of keeping everybody sane in the whole process of things. So we want you to be thinking about your plans now, which is great that this meeting is earlier in the year, so that we can start to get a good plan in place, because that prepares you for success. I can't tell you the number of times the students that kind of come in at the 11th hour and really, are pleading their case. I really need to do this. I really want to do this A, B, and C, and D, and this is why. And then those are the students that are right now struggling. So we don't want you to be waiting till the last minute for that. Again, this is just a timeline for College Credit Plus with North Central State. Our application is online as well. So ultimately you would be going online to apply. As Tiffany was saying, when you're looking at your opportunities, you want to be looking at the various colleges that you may be considering attending, and then understanding what each of those colleges will require for their enrollment process, their admission criteria, and their deadlines. So perhaps you're thinking about multiple colleges. You can do that, obviously. We want you to do that. You can actually, under College Credit Plus, take classes from more than one college. So that logistically gets a little tricky. So maybe it's, not for everyone, but that is an option. You apply online. There is then a form, an actual paper form that we need a student signature, a parent signature. You bring that to your guidance counselor for their signature. And then the prompt is then that you are getting this guidance counselor's signature. You're asking for a copy of your transcript. Some counselors will then give that to you, and it's your responsibility to return it to the college. A lot of counselors are moving that direction because they have a lot going on outside of College Credit Plus. Some counselors may then take that from you and return that to the college, so that signature form with your transcript, okay? And if you do have ACT scores at that time, we would like those returned as well. Then we do also offer the AccuPlacer testing. AccuPlacer is owned by SAT, so it's another standardized test for placement. So it's similar in some degree to the Compass that you may have heard of in the past. So application deadlines, depending on the term that you're seeking to take classes in, as well as enrollment deadlines. We want you registered 30 days prior to the start of the semester, okay? So how do I become accepted in CCP at North Central State? As I mentioned, you apply online, you do that authorization form, and then it's really hinged upon qualifying test scores. Reading scores, that is the benchmark that all students participating in College Credit Plus at North Central State must achieve. So what that is a 21 or higher on the ACT reading, not the composite, but the ACT reading, 21 or higher. And then on the AccuPlacer reading, it's an 80 or higher, okay? So that opens up general eligibility, and that does open up some courses for the student. There are other courses that the student may wish to take that would also require a college readiness score in English and possibly also math. So that's where it depends on what course you may be seeking. To give you some examples, a qualifying reading score could open up history courses, government, speech, some intro to business. That's not comprehensive, but that just kind of gives you an idea. But if you're thinking English composition, freshman college English comp, that's going to require reading and English scores. Math is going to, depending on the math course, it's going to require reading and whatever the math score is needed for that course. Many of the sciences will have reading, math, and English, so it just depends, okay? So reading everyone has to hit, and then depending on what course you want to take, English or math may be required as well, qualifying scores there. So once a student has been accepted to the college, they will be notified, and a question we get then, what's next? How do I register? depending where you'll be taking your courses, will sort of determine how you're registering for class. If you're taking a class here in the building, you are going to work with your guidance counselors, and Mrs. Escalera will then provide the college rosters for what students are to be in which courses, okay? If you're seeking to come to any of the North Central campuses or take a class online, then it's a two-part visit to the campus. You come out once and meet one-on-one with an advisor to talk about your plans, short-term plans, you know, what am I thinking about this year, long-term, what kind of college interests do I have? So to get that plan in place, and then you come back for a new student orientation where you'll register for classes and then become oriented to the campus. Okay. Thinking ahead, after graduation, there's a scholarship available through North Central State. The 2016 graduates were the first potential recipients, so 2017 will be the second class of students who could be eligible. North Central State will provide up to an associate degree or 64 credit hours tuition free for each qualifying College Credit Plus or Career Tech student. So tuition free. This is pretty exciting. If you've asked anyone or know anybody who has ever taken out a student loan, and maybe is paying on that still, it's pretty exciting. So the idea is that qualifying students, if you earn at least 6 credit hours of college credit while in high school, that can be through College Credit Plus specifically. The hours you earn in your lab, so those articulation credits, could also help qualify you for the scholarship. It would allow you to continue your studies at North Central State tuition-free up until 64 credit hours are completed. Okay, so it's important to note that there are other costs in college outside of tuition. Books, lab fees, other fees you'll see, okay? But it's reassurance that the tuition will be addressed for you for a qualifying student up until 64 credit hours or an associate degree. 64 is the cap, that's the cap on it. The associate degrees range between 60 and 66, so it's kind of midpoint there. And what you take in high school, so the college credits you earn in high school will start, not only are they earning you eligibility, but they'll start accumulating toward that 64, okay? So I know that's a lot of detail, but I just think it's important to note that. So how would a student qualify for this scholarship? They would have to earn at least 6 credit hours of college credit while in high school, either through College Credit Plus or the articulation agreement with North Central State. These credits must be earned through North Central State. That is a change from the prior year. Last year, it was not restricted to just North Central State credits, but that is changing for the year ahead. Students must achieve at least a 2.5 cumulative grade point average. So cumulative, all in for the college courses that the student has taken, or the articulated credits that you're earning through your lab. So when your instructors sign off at the end of senior year to say, you have mastered this course, you know, the course content, and they're certifying that you have earned the credit at the college level, they will also give an equivalent grade point average for those classes that they're certifying, and that's how that GPA will be achieved through the articulated credits for your labs. Also a change for this coming year with the scholarship, all interested students must apply for the scholarship. Last year, the college reached out and kind of proactively notified students who were had achieved or earned the credits and the GPA. This year, any interested senior would need to apply. And then students must start in the fall semester right after high school graduation as a full-time student. That's another continuing eligibility for it, and maintain the 2.5 going forward. There's copies of this in those packets too. Okay, so this is where the floor goes to you. What questions do y'all have for us?
Yeah, if you don't mind. So basically, I think in the PowerPoint, there was a letter of intent, and a lot of our school districts that we partner with basically have a letter of intent saying that you have to notify the school by April 1st of your intent to participate in College Credit Plus. Our superintendent believes that all our students can do that, especially since we know that they're coming from so many different schools, their first junior year here, senior year. So when we actually have our information on your grade enrollment, when you actually have your child enrolled here at Pioneer, and that states that you know that your child is going to participate in the college credit course, or that they may participate in the college credit course, and then if they do fail, that you would be responsible. So that's where you would actually sign for that when the student enrolls at Pioneer. Some of the college courses that we do have here in our building, we have 2 English courses, we have 4 math classes, we have 2 history courses, and then we have psychology and sociology online. And there's certain labs that have college credit also in them. So we have, for example, health assistant, exercise science, engineering design technology, industrial electrical, welding, criminal justice, homeland security. Those all have college courses into their lab setting that they can earn college credit plus. Web page design, teaching professions, I believe is working on there. So there's different options that are available for your student to take advantage of those college credit plus courses. One thing you have to remember though, it is the responsibility of the student to follow through on this. We will help them and assist them as much as we can. We will help them get transcripts, we will help them fill out the paperwork if they need help, but it's their sole responsibility to finish the process. One thing that always seems to happen every year is there's always a student that says, well, I'm registered for College Credit Plus, why didn't I get a grade? Well, then we find out maybe they have their ACT scores still in their locker and they didn't turn them in. That is, again, their responsibility to turn in those ACT scores to the college to make sure that they can get enrolled into that course. It's that responsibility of the student. So again, you know your students. One thing we kind of see around with the students that are participating in it, some are fine with it, and some are overwhelmed at first because it is college level work. We want them to be successful, but they also have to take that responsibility to do the work. Sometimes they feel a little overwhelmed because we hear the word free, and the state says, you know, that the student can have up to 30 college credits for free, which is great, but there's also, if they're taking classes here in our building, they're still high school students, so there's a formula that goes with that 30 college credits that can be free, that maybe you think that there's 30 college credits that they're able to get for free, but really it's only 12 because they're taking classes as a high school student in the building. So it's really important that they meet with their counselor to make sure that they're not going over the allowed amount that the state's saying that is eligible, because then you're going to be responsible if they go over that for the coverage of their money. So that's kind of one thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of. I know it's great when we hear the word free, but and some of the parents I know we've talked to this year, they hear, you know, okay, my student might be over 2 college credits for what the state says, which is okay, they can still continue to do it and you can pay for it because maybe you don't have to pay for that book since they already took a course that's related to that class. So that's still a benefit and a savings for you. But I just want to make sure you guys are aware of all those different options that we have here at Pioneer and everything that kind of goes into it. So communication is really important for them to talk to their counselors, for them to talk to the college, you know, to make sure that all that connection and all those pieces are linked together. Okay. Any questions? Don't want to scare anybody, but yes.